the question I was hoping someone would ask me. Thank you, Marky Mark. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man 4's title, Brand New Day? So, this week is CinemaCon, which unfortunately overlaps with April Fool's Day. So, last night, the Sony panel happened, and they announced the title for Spider-Man 4 is Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it's coming out July 31st, 2026, next year. And they also announced that Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out June 4th, 2027. So I shared all of this on my Instagram last night, and I woke up to a bunch of people DMing me, April Fool's prank, because they woke up April 1st, and best practices, any big announcements you hear on April 1st, be skeptical. Immediately question it. So they just jump on my IG feed and stories, and they go, all right, claiming that there's information about these movies, but it's April 1st. Let me check this. That it did happen, and all day there's they announced John Wick 5 today and a spinoff for the Kane character. It's all real because CinemaCon is happening, and that's a convention for theater owners. So it's a convention that with the studios and theater owners, where the studios are trying to convince theaters to play their movies, get them excited for what's happening, all that fun stuff. And so just announcements are made, trailers are released, exclusive footage is shown. But when it overlaps with April 1st, it can kind of lead to some people being skeptical of the news. So let's kind of work our way through both of our pieces of Spider-Man news. Spider-Man Brand New Day. What do I think of the title? I don't tend to have strong opinions on titles. I think Batman Begins is a very stupid title. I have thought that since they announced it. I saw Memento in the theater. So when they announced Christopher Nolan was doing a Batman movie, I was like, oh, sweet, cool. And David Goyer, didn't he do Blade? Blade's writing it. Blade guy's writing it, and it's directed by Memento guy. That sounds really cool to me. We're going to call it Batman Begins. Ooh, that's a stupid title. I love that movie. In certain ways, it's my favorite Batman movie. In certain ways. It's tough because there's a bunch of great ones for different reasons, and I love different things about them. I love that movie, though I do not like the title for that movie. And so I don't put all that much stock into titles unless they're kind of letting me know something about the movie in a meaningful way. So Brand New Day is a Spider-Man comic run. It is a more grounded comic run. It's not, big, fanciful multiverse stuff. So if this is an indicator that we are getting a grounded, more street-level Spider-Man movie, as much as it's that, it means that I am pumped for it. And the director, Destin Cretin, he came out on stage very excited to be there announcing about the movie and said, I'm spending my time exploring the next stage of this amazing character with a team of the most incredible artists in the world. We're all just daily nerding out over the suit, how to swing, how to create an event, an emotional story, and a ride that we haven't really seen before. So this is the director of Shang-Chi. He was the director of Kang Dynasty. So when it was Kang Dynasty, they thought this is the guy to do in the next Avengers movie. Of course, everything kind of imploded, change of directions, and then they went let's go super safe. Let's go back to the crew that did the last two Avengers movies. Fair enough. I'll say this. As movies, as Daniel Destin Cretin movies, I'm way more excited to see him do a Spider-Man movie than an Avengers movie. Because you can go back 2017, put out this movie, The Glass Castle, I believe. It was in my top 10 movies of that year. It's a deeply personal story about childhood and having nostalgia for a traumatic, abusive childhood. And that was something that resonated with me watching that movie. And I one of my very good friends, Rachel Wagner, she had it in her bottom 10 of the year. Her interpretation of the movie was so, or her feelings on it were so different from mine. Whereas I watched it and I went, I get what this movie is doing. I get it. And maybe it was only made for a group of people full of us that had very specific childhoods that were unhealthy. But he made a movie that really resonated with me on an emotional level, that was a deep character piece. And some of the better parts of Shang-Chi, where it's like has a good origin story and the fight choreography, and it kind of loses me in the third act where it gets too goofy. I like the movie overall, but I don't think the third act is the weakest part of that film. And the villain's really great too, the dad. So you take that character work, being able to tell emotional stories that resonate, they're on my wavelength, with someone that can do really good choreography. He showed that with Shang-Chi, some of the best choreography in the MCU, and apply that to Spider-Man. In particular, if we're doing a more grounded Spider-Man, I love that. And the reason I'm more excited for Spider-Man over him doing an Avengers movie is the inherent nature of an Avengers movie is that it's a junk drawer. It's just throw all my toys in there. At that size. Like, I think you can have more personality to it when you do one the size of the first two movies. Those are very Joss Whedon films. If you've seen Joss Whedon's TV shows, those are very Whedon films. But I kind of almost like, in a sense, I've said a zillion conflicting things about the Russos recently, but like the Russos not really having a distinct style is almost kind of exactly maybe what makes them really good at doing MCU the movie. These current Avengers movies that are just MCU the movie. That's almost a good thing. And you kind of go like, people wanted maybe Ryan Coogler to do one of the Avengers movies, and I get that because like let's give him the opportunity. And at the same time, at a movie that size with that many characters, that many plot lines, and so many things merging together, you lose the Ryan Coogler of it all. And you lose the Destin Cretin of it all. So them sticking to smaller things, not like a Spider-Man movie small. This movie's going to make $1 billion. This is going to be huge for his career. And in some ways it might be better for his career because it's more pointed. And I think his flavor will be more apparent on this movie than it would have been on an Avengers movie where you get kind of lost in the mix, I think. So I think that someone that was praising him when he did that movie back in 2017, when he did Just Mercy a couple years before doing Shang-Chi, I was like, this movie's really cool. This is a really great courtroom drama. Great character work in here. Let's see him bring that to a Spider-Man movie. That'd be awesome. Other one you got to talk on just a little bit on here. We did get a confirmation that Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming in 2017. Or 2017. Wrong decade. 2027. June 4th, 2027. So it will be 4 years after Across the Spider-Verse. Originally, it was supposed to come out 1 year later, which would have been a year ago now. So I think they very much we fried our animators just trying to get the one done. And that took a long time. We got to take our time. And they wanted to get the story right. And when you have the 1-2 punch that is Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and you manage to top yourself and make a movie that like people celebrated the way they did Across the Spider-Verse, you have to know, man, we gotta land this ship. We gotta pull this off. We gotta find a way to celebrate Spider-Man and have fun with the multiverse on an even bigger and grander scale that's equally emotional and a satisfying resolution. And that's tough to do. And luckily, they're giving them the time to try and do it right. And hopefully giving the animators the time so that they're not like, just draining the life out of them to get the movie released on time or whatever. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.